Hello everyone, my name's Morgyn Ember. Of course you all remember that. I was the reigning head judge from Season 1 of Morgan's Drag Race. And I'm sure you're all probably wondering what this is all about. Well, today I'm happy to announce that this is our first ever Drag Race Reunited. Today we're going to be speaking with all of the queens, Season 1, Redemption, our top 3, and our current winner. Now, first of all, I would like everyone to put their hands together and welcome our very first entrant in Season 1, Tara Ryzen. Tara, you've come a very long way. You entered through those doors in Season 1, and we didn't get to know very much about you. You came in first, but you left first also. But then you came in Redemption, and you made it to top 4. You have definitely shown us a different side of Tara Ryzen. You have shown the Tara Ryzen brand. You are definitely that queen. Tara, it's been a very long time. How have you been, girl? You look great.
Well, hey Morgan, I feel great. You know, I look great. I gotta say, it's been a pleasure being in this competition. You know, a real pleasure.
Well, before we spoil too much tea, Tara, I was going to ask you what were your thoughts on competing in both Redemption and Season 1. I know they weren't very far apart, and it was probably a bit of whiplash for you and all the other girls. And, I just was curious because I know you're the least experienced, and you seem to have done well for yourself.
Well, Morgan, I came into this competition with, aspirations of being a drag queen. And when I first started in Season 1, it was like, ho, I'm just like some basic bitch, But when I entered Redemption, I got a chance that I never had before. So it was like things were better. I was able to show off different sides of myself, and I was able to be versatile and shit, like what you and the other judges were saying last season, oh Tara, you gotta be more feminine, you gotta be blah blah blah,
Well, Tara, I gotta say this is one hell of a glow up for you, and for anyone, honestly. I mean, you were first out, only to come back and be top 4. Who does that? That's amazing. I think if anyone has proven that they've earned a redemption, it's you. Aside from, of course, our currently reigning redeemed queen, you've shown you have true grit, you have what it takes to be in the drag industry, and you are a drag queen, regardless of what anyone says. And, it's been a pleasure working with you, and I hope that you continue your drag career. I know that you're going to find criticisms down the road, you're going to have fans and haters alike, and just focus on the positives. Keep positive people around you, and just steer clear of the negatives.
Yeah, Morgan, that's exactly what I've been doing, because it's like what RuPaul says, if unless them bitches ain't paying your bills, pay them no mind, or something like that, they ain't paying my rent, fuck them hoes. That's what I say.
Tara Ryzen, I was just wondering, will you be so kind as to fill us in on what exactly the Tara Ryzen brand is? I mean, we know who Tara is, we know what Ryzen is, but what is the Tara Ryzen brand, which you've established since Redemption?
Well, Morgan, you see, it's like this. The Tara Ryzen brand means that you're the HBIC hoe. You are the head bitch in charge. You're like the lady pimp president, and when I walk through those doors, even if I'm going home first, I don't tell myself that. I'm just like, ho, you're here to win it, you're here to kill it, you're gonna slay it, abso-fucking-lutely 200%, ho. That is the Tara Ryzen brand, and come Season 2, I'm gonna knock it out of the fucking park, ho. 100%, 200%, yeah.
Tara, would you be so kind as to tell us what your favorite and least favorite challenges were from the past season? Inquiring minds would like to know, and honestly, I think it would be pretty fun to know myself.
Well, Morgan, I wasn't around for very much of season one, but I gotta say the first challenge was just I was not feeling it. Was not the one for me. I'm not the one to be trifling and rifling around through other people's use shit and all that was pretty gross. But I do think for redemption, I like the finale challenge with the different hair, makeup, dresses, the Fat Queen Awards. That shit was dope, ho. I loved that shit. I felt like such a femme queen, and I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. Absolutely. My least favorite challenge of any of them, aside from the garbage, would probably have been the Snatchula because I don't like being other hoes. I like being this hoe, 100%. Yeah. I answered the question right. Got so nervous, I just, ugh.
Everybody terrorize her. Let's give her a large round of applause. She certainly has come a long way. From her eclectic taste in drag to her unique sense of humor, Baga Trash truly is one of the most different queens to be on Morgan's Drag Race, and it's been such a privilege and honor to have her on both Season 1 and Redemption, and I know the fans will be looking forward to asking questions and seeing a different side to Baga Trash. She might have been second out in Season 1 and second out in Redemption, but let it be known that Miss Baga Trash is absolutely a knockout in my heart and everyone else's heart. So everyone, please, a round of applause for Miss Baga Trash. Baga, how have you been since Season 1 and Redemption? And Baga, if I may be so bold as to say, you look positively stunning in this gorgeous and great outfit. It looks amazing. I think it's possibly the most statuesque and the most stunning you've ever looked in either season. Oh, I thank you, Morgan. I can't take all the credits. In fact, my good friend Harmonica Lynn loves to dress in green, constantly painted her face up a green and everything like that. And I was just inspired, and green is sort of the color mildew and rot and mold and garbage and all that, and I just thought, oh, sure, why not? I mean, the Yanks don't like it, but who fucking cares? I love it. Now, Baga, I know you were, like Tara, you were an early out, and we didn't get to see very much of your talents in either season. What do you feel the fans, the viewers, missed out on the most for what you were going to bring to the table? A very good question. You see, I was going to showcase just how fucking trashy I could be. I've been seeing a couple of rumors circulating about on that Twitter and the rest of the internet with people assuming that some of the other, what do you call it, the UK, the foreign language drag queens. Yes, that some of the foreign language drag queens were trashier than me, which is complete and utter shite. It's bollocks, Morgan. I wanted everyone to know that I am the #1 motherfucking drag queen of scum. Scum and trash. That is the Baga Trash brand. Yes, absolutely. Oh, I see. Baga, do you perhaps feel that Redemption allowed you an opportunity to showcase your trashy talents? Perhaps the viewers, even though they didn't get to see all that much, they were able to get just a hint more of your hidden talents. I know we saw your share, which wasn't completely terrible, but it wasn't the best, I must say. Cher is an icon, and plenty of people in the gay community have been impersonating her, and I I have to say, I probably would have liked it more if there was more Baga Trash on it. The Baga brand, basically. Can you expound on the Baga brand, aside from just scum and garbage and all that? Morgan, I would love to. You see, the Baga Trash brand is not just about scum and rubbish and being disgusting. It's about being beautiful while being absolutely fucking disgusting. Just like it really is in the UK. Specifically London, England, and the place is crawling with street rats and trash and filth and tripe and all the other garbage. And I want to prove to America that the UK queens have exactly what it takes to win. And we should in fact be integrated into the normal show instead of being segregated into a separate fucking UK edition where everybody dresses like a muppet, talks like a puppet, and gets sent home early. That's what I think, personally. Also, the pun names are shite. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. Actually, Baga, you make a very interesting point. I think perhaps a UK version of Morgan's Drag Race would be a good idea to showcase the versatility and diversity and all the different points that the UK Sims have to offer. And I think you did a good thing bringing that up. I had never considered it until you actually brought it up now. And you know, I think that's something we should consider in the future. Bloody bollocks. Why do I always open my big fucking gourd at the wrong fucking moment? Shit. Now I suppose I'm gonna have to audition for this fucking drag race. Who knows, maybe I can come in 4th fucking place this time. You got to aim higher, Baga. Aim higher. I've got to know, what was your favorite and least favorite challenges from Season 1 and Redemption? Go ahead and answer as brutally honest and opinionated as possible. Do not worry, there will be zero retaliation. Well, actually, Morgan, my favorite challenge from Season 1 was in fact the very first challenge. I love rifling through fucking garbage. And Nancy Landgrab, that stuck-up bitch, had plenty of rubbish for me to rummage around through. Found some used corsets, some stockings, a bustier, which surprisingly seemed to be for Jeffrey, not Nancy. Oh, I kifed all of it. Oh yes, I nicked every single bit. It was in the garbage, it was free to take. My favorite challenge from Redemption would probably be the Snatcher. Even though I got fucking sent home in that one, it was still fun to cross-dress as a woman named Cher. My least favorite challenge would probably be the makeover challenge from Season 1. I did not like having to go around and paint other fucking people's faces because those blokes cannot appreciate a good fucking queen. With good skin and good makeup, it was a waste of my time and a waste of my talents, if I'm being perfectly honest. Well, thank you again, Miss Trash, for this stunning outfit and overall look. You just look gorgeous and radiant this evening. And we are going to go ahead and announce our next queen, Miss Velvetta Baggins from Season 1 and Redemption. And we'll talk again later. Velvetta Baggins. Now there's a queen with classical tastes and refined interests. And I would even say that she's cultured. A lot of people might give her grief due to her age, but honestly, I would go so far as to say she was one of our most versatile contestants as far as depth and personality goes. And she came back to us in Redemption, and I'm so excited to sit down and talk with her again. Velvetta dear, it's been a long time coming. How have you been, darling?
Well, Morgan, things certainly could have been better. You know, when I entered Season 1, I had high aspirations of making it far, but I was sent home before Snatch Game, and everybody knows that's a make it or break it challenge, and I was so very close to showing off my hyacinth bouquet impersonation.
Now, Velvetta, you've come quite a long ways, regardless if people accept that fact, or even if you believe it or not. I've seen what you went through in Season 1 and coming back for Redemption, and you've grown in great strides and lengths. I dare say you're our most refined and sophisticated queen. Unfortunately, you know, it's that saying, when there's a big fish, there's always an even bigger fish. And perhaps this just wasn't a pond built for you this time. But I feel like it was great having you back, even for a short time, What are your sentiments on redemption, dear?
Well, Morgan, even though I got sent home early, the first episode, in fact, and the other girls constantly heckled and jeckled me about my age, I enjoyed returning for redemption. It was a blast, actually. It felt invigorating, like I was getting another stab at things, and I felt like, well, even if I don't win, I'm putting myself out there, and I'm making it known that neo-classical queens, such as myself, are important, and we have a lot of variety and things to share with other people, and that's what's important, in my opinion.
Velvetta, I agree wholeheartedly. I think your return showed people that you're here to compete and you're better than ever. And it just wasn't your time, unfortunately. And it's not something unique onto you. There's other queens who go home first. There's queens who barely make it part way. It doesn't make anyone less valid to drag. It doesn't make your experiences less important. It's all one big learning experience, and I dare say that you'll have even more experiences to come. What are your hopes and dreams coming forward in the future of drag?
Well, I would absolutely positively love it if I could open my own dance studio, and I could teach the young little twinks what it is about classical music, and classical ballet, and opera, and all things that make society wonderful. And there would be no mentions of Kardashians, or Jake Pauls, or Tide Pods, or any sort of ice bucket challenge. No! It would be wonderful new things. And speaking French would be forbidden. Yes, it absolutely would.
Velvetta, I'm curious. What was your favorite challenge for redemption? Even if it's a challenge you had not been able to participate in, let me reword it, which challenge were you excited to do for redemption? Because that's the most recent, so it should be, easier in our memories.
The challenge I was most looking forward to was the Ravishing in Red. In fact, this outfit I'm wearing right now, I had tailor-made specifically for that challenge. Even though that whore, what's-her-face, Lanny Voom, had stolen the idea from me. Tramp. But yes, I was so looking forward to it. I have the red bling, as the kids say, and the dress is beautiful silk with diamonds in it, and this hair perfectly done. And I didn't even get to show it off. Well, until now, that is.
And that's a beautiful dress indeed, Velvetta, and thank you for sharing it with me and for everyone else who's watching. And I gotta say, seems like we missed out on a lot of good things you were gonna bring to the table. Hopefully in a future season, perhaps All-Stars, you can come back and show us what else we were missing. I mean, it's proof in the pudding right now that you definitely have what it takes to compete in the big leagues. Velvetta, what would you say to that?
I would absolutely be down, as the kids say, to coming back for All-Stars. In fact, I would absolutely love to show the young twinks how it's done. Yes, I would absolutely love to do that. When do we start filming? Tomorrow? At lunch? Next Monday? Oh, I'm just so excited.
Velvetta, I definitely appreciate your vigor and enthusiasm, but unfortunately, All-Stars is a little bit away. We still have a few more seasons to go through before we compile a roster strong enough for a season 1 of All-Stars. But you'll definitely get the call, absolutely. And I think you're going to knock it out of the park, Queen. I think you got what it takes. And anyway, it's been a blast chatting with you. And we're going to make way for our next queen, Miss Jackqleen Qkwueeen from Magnolia Promenade. And Velvetta, again, it's been wonderful, and we'll chat with you in the later portion of the Reunited. So thank you very much, dear. Jackqleen Qkwueeen from Magnolia Promenade. My versatile, interesting Shakespearean queen. She came in shaking the house down boots in season 1, but she left traumatically. She returned for redemption, and redeemed she was. She is our redeemed queen, and she has earned that title every bit of the way. Jackqleen Qkwueeen, our current redeemed queen. And only redeemed queen, officially speaking so far. It has been too long, dear. How have you been?
Morgan, I feel like $1,000,000, as the saying goes. I entered Drag Race with the notion that I was going to teach others about drag. But in the end, I learned that in order to grow, you have to open your mind and be willing to accept new knowledge and advice. And coming back to Redemption was an eye-opener. And I'm so lucky to have been invited back and to have gotten where I got.
Jackqleen Qkwueeen, my Magnolia Promenade queen. You know, I have to say, when you first came on to season 1, like with other queens, I was skeptical. And I know it's judgmental, but as a judge, it can't be helped. I saw talent in you from the start. Yes, you were in the bottom in the first episode, but you fought your way out. And you showed great versatility and talent under pressure. And then that infamous Sulani Beach challenge, where you and Velvetta were both on the chopping block, and I made the very gut-wrenching decision to send both of you home. And I feel like it was a good thing, because you came back for redemption and you showed us that you have what it takes. And you turned the tables on us, and you came back and you won, and you are the redeemed queen. Jackqleen, you gotta tell me, did you think it would go any other way? I mean, inquiring minds want to know.
Morgan, I would be lying if I said I was unsure. Coming back to Redemption, while it was a blessing, it was also a curse at the same time. Because I felt my deep troubling anxiety, which has haunted me ever since season 1, specifically challenge number 4. I understand that it was my decision to walk away from that challenge, and I suffered for it because of it. Coming back, I was afforded the opportunity to show not only you, but the rest of the world what you were missing, and that I do indeed deserve to be recognized as a queen, and that I should be allowed back in the competition.
Like most tales of adversity, you know, there's doubts and struggles at the beginning, but you toughed it out, you stuck to your guns all the way to the end, and you proved us all wrong. That's got to be an incredible feeling, Jackqleen. I mean, you might not have won the season, but you won something bigger, in my opinion. You proved your style of drag is valid. You as a queen, as a performer, is valid. Shakespearean art is valid. You have turned everything on its head. You have made everyone's jaw drop, including my own, with your beautiful looks and serves. And you've proven that, yes, you went home, but you came back and you kicked ass and took names, queen. I am just so thrilled and impressed with you right now. I'm quivering. I'm so glad to have you back, Jackqleen. So very glad. What are your plans for the future of drag, if I may ask, Jackqleen?
Morgan, in the next 5 to 10 years, I see myself at the head of Shakespearean drag. I'm not foolish enough to believe that I am the first nor the last Shakespearean queer queen. But I want to spearhead an initiative that launches young LGBT youth into the Shakespearean category. I want to open minds and eyes at the same time and bring awareness to this staple of art, to this staple of drag, as it's all valid. It's all a valid art form. And people will write it off and say, drag is old, it's musty, it's like Velvetta Baggins. But the truth is, Shakespeare is timeless. Drag is timeless. So naturally, they coincide. Like white on rice. Yes.
Jackqleen, what was your most exciting favorite challenge from either season, Redemption or Season 1, and which was your least favorite, most disturbing experience on either season? We're curious to know. You know, it is Reunited and we have questions.
My favorite challenge would be from Redemption, would be the last looks reimagined. Basically getting a do-over, so to speak, of my last Sulani runway look, which is the look I was sent home in. It was nice to be able to walk down the runway in the same look I had worn previously, but this time as a winner. It felt amazing. The one challenge that I dreaded the most, aside from the Sulani Beach Challenge, was the finale of Redemption, because I had made it that far and it was make it or break it, as the kids say. And if I wasn't going to win, I was a loser all over again. And at that point, I had to win. And the anxiety was staggering.
Oh, Jackqleen, I understand that so much. You've come such a long way and going through all of that, but you know, I keep saying it and I'll continue to say it. You've proven all of us wrong. You've proven you are that bitch. Even if Lapis is that bitch, you are also that bitch. You're also the redeemed queen. It's amazing, Jackqleen. I mean, you gotta tell us, how does it feel to walk away from that a winner? I mean, that's your golden ticket, darling, to any All-Stars challenge. If you think one is going to be too much of a burden, wait for the next one. How does that sound to you? I mean, does it seem like you found Willy Wonka's golden ticket, or does it seem, nah, not interested? We'd like to know.
While I held no delusions of being considered a seasonal winner, because we wouldn't want to take away from our current winner, Galaxia, until a proper Season 2 has been announced and a winner crowned, I still feel like a winner. And as you said, it does feel like a golden ticket, not a curse. I feel like this will be a wild card, so to speak, and it'll be my money in the bank ticket to getting a crown sometime on a season of All-Stars, perhaps. That's exactly what I plan to do, Morgyn. I am just keeping my poker face, and I'm keeping my cards close to my heart, and I'm gonna play to win. 100%.
Well, Jackqleen, it sounds like you've pondered this a lot, and I gotta say, I'm still so very, very impressed with you. Your outfit here tonight for Reunited is beautiful. It's typical, beautiful, gorgeous Jackqleen Qkwueen style. I love it. I loved all of your looks on the previous season. Of course, we've all had some ups and downs, but you know what? You've proven you're not a sore loser and you're not a sore winner, because you are a winner, dear. Don't let anyone say otherwise. And it's been such a fun time getting back and chatting with you again, catching up on old times. But we're going to make way for our next queen, Miss Fortuna Kookie from Strangerville, and we'll bring you back out later, dear, for our 6th or 5th act, I think. Oh, this is such a long reunion, where all of us will get together and kiki about what's been going on. Until then, dear, we'll talk to you later. She's here, she's queer, and she is slaying. Miss Fortuna Kookie from Strangerville, on a mission to keep Strangerville strange. Fortuna Kookie girl, how have you been? It certainly has been a while. The last time we saw you was during, I believe, the Snatch game of Season 1, and then you were, unfortunately, third to go in Redemption. Why don't we start off by having you tell us about your experiences on both, and some ups and downs and whatnot, how you feel about that. Wow! Morgyn, it's been forever since we got together and talked. Like, really? Wow, I'm just so happy to be here and to talk about my time on Season 1 and Redemption. And let me tell you, sure, I didn't make it that far, but you know what? The weird queer queen from Strangerville is always kicking, it's always keeping things strange, and really that's all that matters. I had fun. Again, that's all that matters. I might have left a loser, but I feel like inside I accomplished something, you know? Wow, Fortuna, that sounds like you've made some astounding progress, and you've obviously done some introspective searching, and you know where your place is in life. And obviously, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't know it, it's anywhere you want to be. And it sounds to me like you're not going to settle for less than best, and that is amazing. I feel like you really could have been there with the winners, and you still have that potential. Tell us, dear, what was your favorite challenge from any season? Redemption or season 1, doesn't matter. Well, I would say my favorite challenge from season... Now here I am. My S is like a snake. My favorite challenge should probably be... You know what? I'm going to say Snatch Game and Snatchler. Even though I bombed both of them, I really feel like it allowed me to be creative and just kind of like, you know, show people that I'm not just some stereotype boxed into a takeout box. You know, I'm someone different. I'm Kookie. I'm Fortuna Kookie. In case you didn't know, it's with a K, not a C. It's Fortuna Kookie, yeah. Okay. Now, Fortuna, obviously you've had some fans on both last season and Redemption who were rooting for you and who are still rooting for you, you know, in case you make an appearance on All Stars in the future. That we're obviously disappointed because you didn't go as far as we had hoped. And clearly you're showing that's not holding you back. And I think that's an amazing attitude to have. I think more people should adopt that personality, you know, that just take it on the chin and be a happy loser, be a happy winner rather than a sore winner. Would you have any advice for aspiring drag artists and fans and whatnot? Gosh, I would probably say my advice would be just be yourself. No matter how loud and wacky and kooky and weird you are, it doesn't matter. If it's you, that's great. If it annoys other people, who cares? They just haven't learned to deal yet, and that's their problem, not yours. As long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. As long as the audience sees that and it resonates with them, you'll feel it. You'll feel the love, man, and that's what's important. Really, truly. So basically, your advice would be just be yourself. Again, Fortuna, wonderful advice you're spitting out here tonight. I think you should be a life coach instead of a drag queen. You give such excellent advice, but really, your drag is stunning. It's beautiful. And I think that we haven't seen everything we could have in either which season because, you know, you left midway through in both. Are there any challenges that you wished you could have competed on that you didn't get the chance to? And maybe what were your hopes for those, and what were your disappointments also? Well, aside from the finale, I was really excited to do the Frozen Fantasy Challenge. I had this really blinged out, crystally, sparkly dress that looked like icicles and snowflakes and all that, and it was going to be gorgeous for the runway, but of course, I got sent home before that. For Redemption, basically just the finale. I was one challenge away from getting there, but then I got sent home. I think I would have knocked it out of the park, honestly. Ravishing in red. I'm wearing red right now, as you can see. It's my favorite color, that and yellow. If you didn't know, I'm the mascot for McDonald's now. They've retired Ronald McDonald, and it's now me, Fortuna Kookie. I'm actually not. Please don't sue me. Fortuna Kookie, it fills me with so much joy to hear so much positivity come from you. And that leads me to our next question. What do you see yourself doing with your drag in the next 5 years? You know, we have queens who come and go. They realize one day that drag is just not for them. And so they move on. They do other things. And that's perfectly valid. It's perfectly acceptable. But there's other queens who muster the storm, who stay through it time after time, and they become some of the greats. What are you gonna do, Fortuna? I'm curious. Well, Morgan, as long as there's a jock and a frock Fortuna Kookie will be right there to say weird shit and slay the runway, to keep Strangerville strange and to queer it up to the max. Oh yes, I'm not going anywhere, mama. I'm gonna be a queen for a decade plus. Not just 5 years, honey, a decade plus. Well, as always, Fortuna Kookie, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. But for right now, I gotta go ahead and introduce our next guest, the incomparable, the cranky, the green meanie herself, Miss Parsley from Evergreen Harbor. And we'll get back with you later, Fortuna, during the group answer and ask section. Until then, we'll talk at you later. Oh, Miss Parsley, where do I begin? Possibly our most controversial queen from season 1. Parsley definitely left her mark on the competition. She did not take no for an answer. She would never back down from a fight. And she was glamorous, but she was also dangerous. Miss Parsley, how have you been? It has been a time, hasn't it? I think the last time we saw you was during the book launch challenge, and you were unfortunately placed in the bottom 3 against Caliente and Icy, and we had to send you home. How have you been holding up since then, Parsley? The world wants to know. Well, Morgyn, I've been holding up particularly well, all things considered. The fact that I was not invited back for redemption. In fact, looking back, I was the only non-top 4 queen who wasn't invited back. But all things considered, I've been doing swell. Swimmingly, in fact. Oh, Parsley, always with the crude humor and the dislikable demeanor. I've gotta ask, had you were invited back to do redemption, how do you feel you'd fare? I mean, you were against the likes of Fortuna Kookie, Icy, Jackqleen Qkwueeen, Exxtra. I mean, do you feel like you could have held a candle to their upstanding performances? I mean, they made it to the top 4. How would you have placed, do you feel? Listen, Morgyn, the only reason why Ryzen made it to top 4 is because I wasn't there to take it from her. Plain and simple. You think that bitch is more talented than the green meanie? You're kidding yourself. Period. Ha! So you feel strongly that you would have in fact made it to top 4. Do you feel like you would have stood a chance against either Jackqleen, Exxtra, or Icy? I mean, Tara was top 4, but she walked away at 4. How do you feel you would have compared? Are we still talking about those whores? Listen, Morgyn, they're seeing things on a 3rd dimension, while I am living in the 5th dimension. There's no comparing. If I were on redemption, I would have made it to top 3. I would have won, plain and simple. Capiche? Oh my, I'm not sure if that's misplaced confidence or if it's anger that I'm getting from you. Well, either way, Parsley, let's talk about the challenges from season 1. What would you feel was your favorite challenge, even if it was one you didn't get to participate in? What was a challenge that you felt resonated with you strongly? I feel like the finale challenge resonated with me, Morgyn, because I am multifaceted. I can sing, I can act, I can dance, and I look good wearing a fucking crown. So clearly, if I were in the top 4 of season 1, it would have been me wearing that fucking blink tiara and not Galaxia. Which we all know the only reason she won is because she's a fucking alien. Let's be real here. 100% real, off the record, Morgyn. Well, actually, Parsley, myself, and the other judges nominated Galaxia because she has nerve, charisma, uniqueness, and talent. Things that, while you appear to have, fail remarkably at, which Goes to show why you made it so far but left empty-handed, and you would do well to remember that, Parsley, as All Stars is coming up around the corner, and we can always forget your number. You better not deprive the fans another chance at seeing the green meanie on their screen, Morgyn. They love me. I'm surprised there weren't fucking rioting in the streets the day I was eliminated. It's truly a mystery. I am perplexed. Parsley, I've got to say, some of the fans, and in fact some of the other queens, have noted how your placement on Season 1 was kind of a fluke. Given, in retrospect, you didn't really put your heart into any of the challenges, and you just kind of, shoved your way past. And it was only because there were queens who were worse than you that you managed to avoid being in the bottom, until your ultimate fate in challenge number 6, which landed you against Icy and Caliente, which we all know what happened. You lost and you were sent home. Do you think that maybe your placement was unfair to the other queens? Do you figure maybe that in hindsight you didn't really try that much? Trying is for losers, Morgyn. With a face like this and a curvaceous body, the green meanie ain't gotta do shit. I got where I was because I'm fucking gorgeous. And you and your co-judges saw that, and that's why I landed in 6th place. I could have walked away further, but I didn't. Because the competition's rigged, and you all know that. Actually, Parsley, you were cut off at 7th place. Exxtra was 6th place, Icy was 5th place, and you would do well to remember that. Well, Parsley, I would say it's been a pleasure talking to you, but I was raised to not lie. So I'm going to go ahead and announce our next queen, Miss Exxtra. Does anyone have room for an extra? From Del Sol Valley herself. Does anybody have room for an extra? Why, Miss Exxtra, I think that all of us have room for you. You're not just an extra, baby, you're a star. Miss Exxtra from Del Sol Valley, or as we properly know you as, Extra Profi. How have you been, dear? It's been quite some time, hasn't it? Although not too long, because you are a wonderful top 4 or final 3 of Redemption. How have you been since that?
Oh, hi, Morgyn. I've been good, I've gotten tons of offers in the mail and, acting gigs and modeling stunts. It's been great. Of course, it's all been in the background, so you can't really tell it's me. But, it's a start, and we all have to start somewhere. In my case, it's at the bottom. But I can't really complain because at least I'm making some money. I have enough to buy a 10-pack of cup of noodles, so that's good.
Extra, it's always nice to hear my girls speak so positively and be so chipper and upbeat. It really brings a tear to my eye seeing where you went in Season 1. You were almost there, you wowed us from day 1 up until the Frozen Fantasy Challenge, where you just kind of sort of fizzled, my dear. I hate wording it that way, but you just didn't really wow us. Do you have any thoughts looking back on that?
Do you see, Morgyn, I don't really look back and have regrets because, every day is a different challenge. It's a different opportunity to express yourself. And in my case, I just kind of went with the wrong wardrobe. And, it just happens. Sometimes you have to fire your assistant. Sometimes you have to fire the unpaid intern. It happens. It's a Hollywood thing. I'm not sure if you'd understand, but if you do, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. In my case, it crumbles in the milk at the bottom. You have to scoop it out with a spoon.
Indeed, dear, indeed. And you made it so far in Redemption. I mean, lots of speculation was running rampant about you being placing very, very far, very high in the tournament. And it's true, you did. You made it to the final 3 in Morgan's Drag Race Redemption. And I gotta say, Extra, I'm so pleased and proud with you. Words cannot express. Tell me how you feel. If you didn't win, but you came so far, that's still, it's gotta be a good feeling.
Well, it's true, I didn't win, and, while I did feel good, I didn't feel as good as I would have if I had won. But while I was still walking off that loser's high, I hitched a ride with a trucker and got dropped off where the lot lizards hang out, and I drowned my sorrows in the parking lot. And, so I pretty much forgot about it for the rest of the night.
We talk about our highs and our lows, our ups and our downs. Extra, what was an opportunity or a challenge that you felt like you personally dominated on either season? Because I know that you were fairly high throughout most of the competition. We're all very impressed with you.
Morgan, I have no idea what you're talking about. Everything I took during that season, it was medicinal. I placed high. Yes, absolutely. You see, Redemption was really my comeback tour, and I pretty much lifted my leg and pissed all over that tournament. As you can see, I never placed low, I was never in the bottom, never up for elimination, and I made it to the end. And I still didn't fucking win. That kind of burns my ass a bit, if you excuse me. But, I'm happy I got to book myself more, get to show people who the real Extra is, and the real Extra is a tramp who hangs out at the truck stop bathroom.
But let's not deny, Extra, you've come so far from Season 1 where people might have thought, who's this background character? Who is she? To, oh my god, she almost won. And I honestly feel like, given another shot at it, you probably could win Extra. How do you feel about that?
Well, if you're implying that I should do All-Stars, Morgan, just have the check in the mail by Monday, and my agent will talk to your people and we'll work something out. Until then, you know where to find me. In the parking lot. Behind Lowe's. Behind some bushes. I'll be the one in the clown outfit. With the puppet show. Saturdays between 9 p.m. and midnight.
Well, Extra, it's been a blast talking to you. And speaking of blast, oh Lord, it is freezing in here. I have to go ahead and announce our next queen from Willow Creek, Miss Icy. And Extra, we'll get back with you later during our group answer and ask session with all the other queens in Act 5. So until then, we'll talk to you later, Extra. Icy from Willow Creek, our chilling, wonderful, glamorous queen with a heart of gold. She might have displayed some cool exteriors on both of her times in Drag Race, but in the end we got to know the true Icy, and we know that inside there's a winner waiting to emerge. Miss Icy, our beautiful frosty queen of Willow Creek, how have you been, darling? You look amazing.
Well, Morgan, not only do I look good, but I feel good. I feel fan-fucking-tastic. And, let me just say, being here with you right now is such a rush. The past 2 seasons have been mind-blowing, even though Redemption kind of counts as Season 1, but still.
Now, speaking of Redemption, I know you, along with the other girls, we had a chance to sit down and discuss things among the top 4. I know that you elaborated on your feelings at leaving at 5th place from Season 1, and you were let down with that. You were upset. I know that you were outwardly upset with production, with some of our decisions at the judging panel, and I think what you came to realize, you were upset with yourself, and that was holding you back in Redemption. After being very close to being sent home, being in the bottom once, it lit a proverbial fire under your ass, and it got you going, and it did. You made it on to the top 4, then even further to the final 3. I mean, you didn't win, but look how far you've come since Season 1. How do you feel?
Again, Morgan, it feels amazing. I know, everything you said is true, and I didn't win, but I feel like I did win. I proved, not only to everyone else, but most importantly myself, that I can do it. Everything was there, and I just needed to really step my pussy up and just do it. And Drag Race is a competition. It's fierce, there's claws, there's teeth, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. And was I taking it seriously? Yes. but I was taking it a bit further than that, and I was beating myself up. And that was causing me to sabotage myself internally from enjoying drag.
Now, who was it who said if you're not enjoying drag, you're doing it wrong? I can't remember the name, but it holds true. And I think you realized that you weren't enjoying it and you needed to do some soul searching. I feel like Redemption was the big wake-up call, not just for you, Icy, but for your fans, your admirers, the rest of the queens, the judges. We saw Icy, but we saw a new, better, improved Icy. I feel like you've reinforced your frosty exterior, and you're going to be unstoppable come All-Stars. That's my feeling anyway.
Let me tell you, Morgan, I am so excited to come back and try out All-Stars, just maybe not a season with Lapis or Crow, because those bitches play dirty, and I want to have a chance at winning. And if I'm against either of those two again, I just feel like, I don't know. I want to win so badly, but I'll do whatever it takes.
I see. What challenges through season 1 to Redemption did you feel resonated with you the most? What did you feel the best about, and what did you dislike the most?
You know, I'm just going to go out and be that girl and say I really enjoyed the final 3 ball challenges, you know, the 3 different dress categories. I love fashion. I've always been a fashion queen. I've always been a ball queen, a pageant queen, and I feel like had I made it to the final 3, or the top 4 actually, of season 1, I would have knocked it out of the park. Maybe I might not have won if it was still up against Lapis or Galaxia, but I feel like I would have given you guys one hell of a show. Just like what you saw with Redemption, I love the different dress categories. Ravishing in Red, Best Drag, Queens of Drag, or Drag Royalty, excuse me. I love all of that, and I feel like that's my forte, that's my niche. And if I don't win All-Stars in the future or another season, I feel like that's what I can do.
That's so funny you should mention that, Icy. I was just going to say, where do you see yourself in the future, 5-10 years from now with your drag? I feel like fashion really is your strong suit. I feel like you're experienced, you're versatile. You know what you're doing when it comes to the runway and the catwalk. You kind of already answered it for me, but why not extrapolate further on that? Why not go in depth and say 10 years from now, Icy? Where do you see the Icy brand at?
10 years from now, Morgan, I am going to be the helm of an empire. The Icy Bitch Empire. That's right. Hopefully, I'm going to have my own line of makeup, jewelry, clothing, all of that, and I won't ever have to worry about money again, and I'll be successful. Or I'll just be doing drag in nightclubs and entertaining the masses. Either way, I feel like I'm going to be successful. People are going to live for it, and I'm going to be happy. And honestly, with or without money, I feel like happiness is the most important. It kind of sounds cheesy or corny to say, but I really do believe like happiness comes first. If you're not happy, you're doing it wrong.
I see that is absolutely 100,000% correct. If you aren't happy, you are doing something wrong, or it is not for you. And you have shown so much growth and wisdom on this 2-parter journey. I see. I do hope you'll join us in the future All-Stars, be it, you know, whichever season it is. I hope you'll come back and you'll wow us with some serves and some shoots and some amazing exotic looks, because I just know you're gonna blow us all away. Icy, I hope you'll be there.
Well, Morgan, it's like I said earlier, like maybe not All-Stars 1, but maybe All-Stars 2 or 3, because there's probably going to be a few more seasons of Drag Race. I'm definitely going to be there eventually. We'll see what happens, but I feel confident about it.
Well, Icy, I would be lying if I said I wasn't utterly entranced with your beauty. You are such a delight. You're humble, you're intelligent, you're gorgeous. I feel like regardless of what happens, the future will hold nothing but good things for you, and you have earned every single ounce of wonder and fame. And I applaud you, Icy. 5th place is nothing to sneeze at. But I feel like internally we all know you're 1st place. Thank you again for meeting with me, and I'm going to go ahead and announce our next queen. At 4th place, with her youthful vigor, from Newcrest herself, Miss Caliente. Please enter the stage. Caliente, our beautiful 4th placing queen. She entered the competition with her youthful vigor, and she proved to everyone that just because you're younger queen doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be a first out. She's come a long way, and I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of her. Well, Miss Caliente, I've got to say it's a huge pleasure having you back. It's been so long, I think, since the finale, since we last spoke. And, you know, we've all been curious what you've been up to, so why don't you go ahead and spill the tea, so to speak. Well, Morgan, I've just been improving on my drag, and I've been taking all the judges' advice to heart, and basically kind of improving myself, because even though I made it to the top 4, I didn't win, and, you know, I still felt good about my placing, but I always feel like I could still do better, and I still hold that today. And to add on to your question, I've just been living my life, you know, I'm still young, I'm free-spirited, I'm just doing my thing and going out there and meeting new people. That's basically it. And you're joining us tonight all pretty in pink, Miss Caliente. If I didn't know any better, I'd say we were twins. I mean, we're both blonde and pink and just young people stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you some questions, Caliente, similar to what I asked the other queens. How would you rate your experience on season 1 of Morgan's Drag Race? I know it was your first big drag competition, so, you know, you were kind of like a fish out of water, I imagine. Would you like to expound on that for us? Oh, absolutely, Morgan. I felt sort of overwhelmed, but let me tell you, my excitement outmatched any sort of feeling of, you know, anxiety or danger. It did feel kind of dangerous, but in a good way, an exciting way. Because like you said, I was like a fish out of water, but it was that first big leap, and it was so worth taking it because look where I'm at now. Top 4, no one can ever take that away, and I'm so happy, and it was a blessed experience. And, you know, there was so many other competitions of different things that, you know, a modeling contest, or, you know, let's see, what was the other one? Sewing, design contest. It's not the same hemisphere as drag, you know? I love putting on my makeup and teasing my hair and picking out a cute outfit and, you know, walking down the runway and performing for the masses. I love it. And I think that Morgan's Drag Race was it for me, and I think that the whole overall experience was a learning experience. And I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, Morgan. Not one thing. Not for 1,000,000 simoleons. Well, Caliente, it certainly sounds like you've been doing a lot of reflecting on your time with us since season 1. I have to ask, though, are you still Newcrest's reigning queen? Because we know that's where you moved to, where you hailed from on season 1. Did you inspire any new up-and-coming dragsters, or are you still Newcrest's that bitch, if I may steal the quote from Lapis? Actually, I'm really glad you brought that up. I did inspire sort of a little following, so to speak. A lot of younger people have discovered drag because of the show. I won't take full credit for it because there were lots of amazing queens on season 1. You know, we've got Ryzen, we've got Jackqleen Qkwueeen, Galaxia, the winner, of course, Lapis. And so I just look at it like young people in LGBTQIA plus community see it and they just resonate with what they see on the show. They try to find their own vehicle, their own unique identity to self-identify with. And because you asked about Newcrest, because that's where I'm from, I know a few. I won't name names, so to speak, keep it a surprise. But like I said, I won't take full credit for it, but I like to think I nudged them in the right direction just a little bit. And I think that they're gonna go far. I think they're gonna go places. I would not be surprised if we see them on a future season of Drag Race, actually. Caliente, that is not only wholesome, but it's inspiring. I think it is wonderful that young queens such as yourself and Lapis, Galaxia, Crow can inspire future generations of queens. Drag is an art form, all-inclusive, straights, gays, bis, transgender. Everyone is open to practice drag. It is not limited to any one person or any one side. And I think if more people were open-minded enough and were in drag and used that as their self-identifying vehicle, I think honestly the Sim Nation would have fewer problems. And I really think, Caliente, that you've spearheaded that a little bit to motivate some of your hometown friends into trying out drag. I think that's amazing. I'm going to go ahead and ask you, from your time on season 1, what were some of your highs and lows, personally speaking? Not necessarily what we judges have critiqued you on. Just what challenges do you feel you like the most? And which ones not so much, if you may tell us that. Oh, well, I absolutely adored the makeover challenge because I got to combine two of my favorite things, glam, makeup, and drag. And it was really thrilling to kind of go around the city dressed as a pretty girl and talk to like these unassuming people who are just like, whoa, wow, who's this gorgeous chick? She wants to offer me a free makeover? Like, yeah. And I was just like really into that, you know? I feel like if I wasn't going to do drag, I'd probably do hair and makeup. So that, I think that was the second challenge. That one, I really liked that one. I say another one that I really liked was the book launch challenge. Even though I was in the bottom for that one, it really forced me to think outside of my box, so to speak. I was reading more that whole week for the challenge preparing. I was reading every night. I was typing every night. I honestly, this might be dumb for me to say, but I feel like I walked away from it a smarter person because it was forcing me to be more literate and more literary and to look up big words and the meanings of things and not just cut and paste things from Wikipedia. I really liked that one. I would probably say, oh, let me just stick this in here real quick. The third challenge, the talent show. I love that one. I love being able to show off my Polynesian fire dancing that I was taught from my Ohana, because part of my family married into a traditional Hawaiian family, and I learned that growing up. My least favorite challenge would absolutely be the Frozen Fantasy Challenge. Even though I like the idea of it, I didn't do that well on it, obviously. And snowflakes and snow remind me of the cold. And oh, I just can't stand the cold. It's like the reason why I'm not living on Mount Comobri. Now, here's a question I don't think I've asked any of the queens tonight so far. Caliente, who on season 1 do you feel, out of all of your fellow queens, that you related to the most? That you would actually walk away from the challenge and consider a friend or a confidant, for that matter? Oh, that's a really good question. I walked away with quite a few good friends. Actually, Tara Ryzen, she's in my age group. She's actually very versatile, very funny girl, very classy, smart, kind of a little fashionista, even though we didn't get to see that much of her on season 1 on Redemption. From what we saw on the Winner's Roast, she was quite good. But who I really consider a friend, believe it or not, is Crow. And I know that we've had our ups and downs, during Untucked of season 1. But that's just friends, you know. Friends have quarrels, they have little fights, sometimes some disagreements, but you don't stop being friends. I would also consider Galaxia a good friend because, you know, not just because she's the winner and the new head judge, but because she's smart, she's funny, she's outgoing, she has charisma, its nerve and talent. And I mean, come on, like, she was, if it weren't for me, let's face it, if you weren't gonna crown me, you should crown someone like Galaxia. And I think that she's just a good person to have in your friends list, in my opinion. Not that I use Facebook, because I'm too cool for that. Caliente, with the inclusion of new seasons of Drag Race, obviously we're going to have 1 or 2 seasons of All-Stars, where several queens from each season will be brought back to compete in one big competition. Does that sound like a challenge that may interest you sometime in the future? Because I can speak for everyone. Rest assured, we would all love to see you back in the competition. And hopefully you would accept the challenge, Caliente. I mean, only you would know. I would absolutely 110% come back for All-Stars. Oh, are you kidding me? Yes, 1,000,000 times. I would love to compete again against my sisters, my former co-star queens, and the future batch of queens. I'm so excited to see what the future generation of Drag Race queens look like. I mean, we're going to have some amazing looks. We're going to have some early outs, of course. We're going to have a new winner. I'm excited. I'm excited to throw down the gauntlet and challenge all these girls and come out a winner. I think that's what's going to happen, Morgyn. Well, Caliente, it certainly sounds like you've made up your mind, and I want to thank you again for coming out and meeting with us tonight. And for now, I'm going to introduce our next queen, the dark, moody, brooding, mysterious, nevermore, Miss Crow from Oasis Springs. And we'll bring you all back out later after our last talk. Until then, Caliente. Crow, our dark, mysterious, and all-around beautiful third-placing queen. She might have been moody and broody and never backing down from a challenge. But I feel there's more to her than what we saw on season 1. Crow, our third-placing queen. I have got to say, out of all of the returning queens, I have been very, very most anticipating your arrival, queen. How have you been?
Well, Morgyn, you know, I've been good. I've just been polishing up my drag a bit and picking out some new styles because from what I understand, All-Stars is just 1 or 2 years away, and I want to look my absolute best for when I come back and wipe the floor with these bitches.
Crow, a confident queen. We love to see it. Miss Crow, your time on season 1 was fraught with ups and downs, though mostly ups. You were probably neck and neck with Lapis to be winner. If it weren't for Galaxia, it would really be close. How do you feel about your time on season 1? We got to see plenty of looks from you that I would consider serves, personally. I mean, no one else could have pulled off that dark and mysterious film noir-esque dame. I mean, no one pulls off the black and red lipstick and yellow eyeliner like you do, Crow. I mean, that's like your signature look. What are your thoughts on season 1?
Well, Morgyn, I'm not gonna lie. I was very disappointed that I didn't win. And, you know, but I feel like the winner, Galaxia, is the actual winner. I mean, I'm not just saying that because it's what you decided, it's just a fact. She outdid the rest of us. She outdid Lapis, she outdid Caliente, she outdid me. She's the queen, she's the winner. I feel like I could have done more. I think against Galaxia, she probably still would have won. Good for her though, I hold nothing against her. I feel like my time on season 1 has showed me that drag needs to be as versatile as the person utilizing it. And if you're not open to suggestion, if you're not open up to changing your look around, then you're holding yourself back. And that's something I feel like is going to be a big boon to me on future seasons, if I'm being honest.
Crow, that is very... Wow, that is such an open-minded, enlightened response from you. And not that I'm in shock, because you've always been, if I may use the term, a brainy queen. I mean, yes, you're glamorous, but you've also been quite intelligent. And that doesn't surprise me that you would remark that way, because clearly you've grown a lot intellectually and emotionally and spiritually from your time on the show. And I think when All Stars rolls around, you will be more than ready for it. I think the other queens are going to be in for a surprise when you show up. Moving on to another question, I was going to ask, which I've asked Caliente, who do you think from the show, from your time on season 1, would you consider a close companion, a confidant, or even a close friend from your time together on season 1? Who would that queen be?
Well, I'm probably going to say, and you already know the name, I'm going to say Caliente. And it's not just because she said that, and I'm not saying that just to be nice, because you know me, Morgyn, I tell it like it is, I shoot from the hip, and I don't care if people are offended. I choose Caliente because while we might have had our disagreements, she's been a sister to me, and she's listened, and she's been there from the beginning. And I wouldn't want to go through a challenge like that without someone like her. And, you know, I hope she feels the same way about me, because I've come to see her as a real good friend. And going and performing and drag together at the clubs and meeting with fans and just, you know, predicting our futures together as business partners and all that. It's really fun. It's really amazing, you know. I would also consider Lapis a close second, you know, a good friend. You know, even though we definitely had some highs and lows as far as arguments go, you know, Lapis and I are both grown adults, and we can look past that and still be friendly towards one another.
Crow, I am just really head over heels with all this affection and compassion and emotion from the girls tonight, the top 4. It really, really shows me that you have all blossomed from your time together, and you really do see each other as sisters, and I love hearing that, because it warms my heart knowing I made the right decisions bringing you girls closer together and learning under the same roof and struggling together under the same challenges. I love to see it, and I know for a fact that the world is not going to know what they're going to see when it comes from you, Crow. You're so dark and moody and mysterious. And that brings me to my next question. What do you have planned for the next 5 or 10 years? I know you weren't brought back for redemption. Those were mostly early outs. What do you have planned for us, Crow, if I may ask? We're all curious to know.
I've been planning to do some more drag, obviously, in, this might surprise you, Del Sol Valley. And maybe it won't surprise you, because a lot of queens get their start there. It is kind of like the LA of Sim Nation. I'm going to move around, you know, maybe do some world adventures type stuff. I actually really like Brindleton Bay. That might surprise you, because it's kind of like, you know, you look at someone like me and be like, oh, she totally thinks it was hokey and small town, which it is small town. And there are some parts that are podunk, but you know what? It's quiet, and it's peaceful, and it's serene, and I love it. I love being away from the hustle and bustle and the noise of the city every once in a while. I think all of us could agree to that. That's a shared sentiment. Adding on to that, and I'm not forgetting your question, I'm just, I'm old now, so I ramble a lot. I'm going to be trying out different performance styles. Not really much of a singer, but I can dance. You saw that, the world saw that on season 1. I'm gonna try some things out with Caliente, and maybe we could have like a traveling act or something. That's one of our business plans we've thought of. And aside, making some extra coin, and Exxtra is another queen that we've been in talks to work with, and she's fantastic. She's an amazing look queen. And I think the three of us will be like the three amigos or the three musketeers. We're just gonna go out and, kick ass and take names. We're just gonna up our drag.
Amazing. Now, Crow, if I may circle back to season 1 before I forget, because I'm older than you actually, and so my mind does tend to slip. What were your favorite challenges and your least favorite challenges from season 1 of Morgan's Drag Race? What challenges resonated with you the most, and which ones do you hope to God to never have to experience again?
I really liked the book launch challenge because it was my second win, and it also had me being creative with writing and literacy and all of that stuff. I absolutely don't ever want to have to do a mask PSA challenge ever again. I do like any challenges that are like talent shows, because I really, really, really liked showing off my skills as a dancer. And so the talent show, I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the book launch. That was my second win. Snatch Game was so fun. Even though I don't consider myself an actress, I feel like I really did well on that challenge. And I feel like if we had a Snatch Game or something similar in the future, I think I would really blossom in that one.
Well, Crow, everybody remembers you. You ate up the stage as Mrs. Crumplebottom. You did so well, it was a no-brainer you're going to win that one. Tonight it's just been so amazing catching up with all of you queens, and I hate to cut it short, but we've got 2 more queens to talk to, and then it'll be the group ask and answer segment. So for now, I'm going to let you go and introduce our next queen. She's blue, but she fills me with joy. I'm so tongue-tied. She's blue, but she fills me with joy. She's that bitch from San Myshuno, Lapis. Our runner-up, our first ever second placing queen, it's that bitch, Lapis. And she's come to prove that she's that bitch for a reason. They're here, they're queer, and they are revolutionizing drag. While Lapis might have been blue, I felt nothing but joy watching their performances. She may be blue, but she fills my heart with joy. Lapis, how are you, girl? It has been some time since we last met.
Well, Morgan, I feel fantastic. I am happy to be here, reunite with my sisters and my friends, and it's really exhilarating. The sky might be blue, and so is my hair, and most of my face.
Lapis Queen, my lovely runner-up, our first ever second placing queen. Oh, Lapis, you were so close to winning. I know everyone, myself included, if it weren't going to be Galaxia, it was absolutely positively going to be you, because you were neck and neck, and for a while you had Galaxia beat. What's your thoughts on that? Your time spent on season 1, and I'm sure you've learned and grown from that. Do you have any thoughts on that, Lapis?
Absolutely, Morgan. You see, drag, in my experience, has always been very, animalistic, very carnal, very real. You can't really peg it into a box. And I feel like my time on season 1 with the other queens really opened my eyes to other styles of drag, even though I consider my drag to be kind of non-conforming. I've always been kind of a punk and an anarchist, and my style and all that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with putting your hair up in a beehive and throwing on a ball gown and just marching down the runway. there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Drag is such a abstract and intangible vehicle for inspired LGBTQIA youth that you really can't just, pigeonhole it into a corner and say, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. My time spent really showed me that I feel like the future of drag is going to be more abstract. Which, in my definition, it's whatever in the moment. If I want to throw on, like, a ball gown with, like, a gas mask, I'm gonna fucking do it. If I'm gonna wear roller skates with, like, a jumpsuit and, like, a beehive wig, I'm gonna do it. If I'm gonna dress like a punk in a corporate business suit, I'm gonna do it. And I think other people should follow that and just be abstract with their drag. Do what they think feels good in the moment, and I've come to find that yields the best results, or at least it yields the most, satisfying results, in my opinion.
Wow, Lapis, you've really put some thought into this. I had always looked at you in season 1 and thought, she really is that bitch for a reason, because she comes in here acting like she owns the place, and really you pretty much did. I mean, you were that close to winning. You did phenomenal on the challenges. Your looks, I would say 90% of your looks were shoots. Not just serves, not just looks, but shoots. I mean, I was blown away. The other judges, I can speak for Siobhan and Izzy, we were all blown away. What are your thoughts on that? The challenges, which ones resonated with you the most? Which ones not so much?
Well, personally, I liked any challenge that allowed me to just, like, expand my horizons, so to speak, with my creativity. And I'm not trying to sound like some pretentious art school geek, but, like, acting challenges, painting challenges, the talent challenge, I really enjoyed all those ones. Frozen Fantasy, I really enjoyed that one. I like the snow. I like the cold. I actually really love my own look from that one. Not to sound self-absorbed, but looking back and seeing it, I'm just like, it's me, but I look so different because I don't usually look that glammed up. Because Lapis, they are such a abstract creation, and it's kind of getting cliche nowadays because everyone's trying to be like, oh, blah, 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 and which is fine. I'm just trying to put out there that I've been doing this long before these other queens. Challenges that I weren't really feeling would probably be comedy challenges, I guess, because I don't really find myself to be that funny. I mean, I obviously I don't consider myself to be a comedian, but the comedic challenges weren't really my cup of tea.
Which I find to be rather funny, Lapis, because you were funny on season 1, and when you came back for the winner's roast, you hosted the reading challenge, and I mean, honestly, you are a funny queen, and that's surprising to me that you feel that those weren't for you. You're definitely a fashion icon, in my opinion. You have the looks, you've got the attitude. Lapis, I've asked some of the other girls this question, so I'm going to go ahead and ask you. Which of your sisters, your fellow competing queens from season 1, would you say that you would consider a friend or confidant today since leaving the show? I'd really love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, even though she wasn't on, like, season 1 very long, I consider Ryzen to be a good friend. You know, we spoke a lot, and I gave her tips with her drag, and, you know, just some things to help her. I'm not going to be so bold as to presume that I changed her worldview, but I noticed she could definitely use some help. It was her first time in drag, and I feel like we really bonded over that, and, you know, she would occasionally ask me for tips and hints, and I'm just like, sure, I'm here to help, you know? I feel like everyone should have access to drag and make it their thing. And up till now, today, I consider Tara to be one of my closest friends, actually.
Lapis, I have to ask, what are your plans for the future? You are such a bold and outstanding queen and performer and artiste. I've got to know, what are your big plans for the next 5 to 10 years? Be it with or without drag, art, painting, whatever. I have got to know, queen.
Well, a big goal of mine has always been to redefine the meaning of drag. It's, for the longest time, it's just been, oh, a man dressing up as a woman dressing up as a man. I want the term drag to become more abstract, more accessible to everybody. And the next few years, I'm going to be like performing, I'm going to be touring, I'm going to be performing with my sisters, and I'm going to show the world what my version of drag is. And I'm not necessarily trying to, like, you know, change people's minds. If I happen to inspire some people along the way, that would be cool. But I just want to show people that, like, drag should be non-conforming. It's like the ultimate FU to society and the establishment, and it's the ultimate form of protest. And all the other young punks out there, I hope they come see my shows. I hope they walk away inspired, or at least with some ideas. Even if they don't want to do drag, they can do other forms of art and other forms of protest and things like that. And, you know, just to get their message out, whatever that message be. Hey, stop cutting down our trees. Hey, stop polluting our forests. Hey, let women do what they're going to do with their own bodies. Things like that. Basically, I'm going to be a big political mess in the next 5 to 10 years, Morgan. To TLDR your question.
Lapis, I am blown away. That I'm not surprised, because you've always been such an emboldened and inspiring queen. I am not surprised one bit that you would take to the streets and take to the center stage and loudly and boldly proclaim your ideas and intentions for yourself in the future. I think it's amazing. I think the drag community and the LGBTQIA+ community is lucky to have a queen like you. But we are nearing, finally, the end of our show. We have just 2 more segments left. I have 1 more queen left, and you all know who it is. She's a fucking alien, a xenomorph queen, our first ever magical queen, and our current reigning queen, Galaxia! Miss Galaxia, our first ever magical queen, and current reigning Season 1 Morgan's Drag Race winner. Hailing from 6am, a place devoid of nighttime drag life, and drag in general, as she told us her story. She came onto the show wowing us from the very beginning with her wonderful, versatile, and illustrious looks, her quick wit and humor, her endearing personality. I knew that I had made the correct choice, crowning her as my successor, as our first magical queen. Your Highness, how have you been? It has been too long, far too long, but actually not that long, because we communicate behind the scenes of Drag Race. How have you been, dear? Wow, Morgan, am I dreaming? Pinch me. It's been how long? Like almost a year since I became the first ever magical queen, and I'm still barely coming to grips with all of it. It's crazy! Yes, but I'm doing good, to answer your question. And Galaxia, might I say, you look positively gorgeous wearing that purple gown and the makeup. It's perfect. It's symbolic of regality, of royalty, as it should, as you are our queen. Not just a queen, the queen. And I have to say, Galaxia, you have come such a long way. I know you might kind of sort of feel like you were just kind of plucked up and tossed from the small fish tank into the ocean, with these responsibilities and the fame and fortune, but it's gotta feel good, right? Oh, absolutely, Morgan. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, or 6am. Actually, since becoming famous, I have noticed lots of people going through my garbage, which is weird because they weren't wearing official Del Sol Valley garbage uniforms, but I just figure it comes with the territory. You made a good point with that little metaphor. I do feel like a small fish thrown into a bigger pond, so to speak. But, with those experiences come learning, and I'm not perfect at it yet, as we've seen with Redemption, but I'm getting there. And I feel like Season 2, since that will be my first official full-time head judging position, I think I'm going to knock it out of the park, if I can be so bold. I mean, let's hope so, right? I'm her current reigning fucking queen. I'm her first ever winning queen. I feel like I've got this, Morgan. I feel like you made the right choice. And actually, you made a good point bringing up television with judging duties. I also understand a little bird's told me you're going to have your own late night show segment coming out soon. Late Night with Galaxia, I believe it's going to be called. That sounds very interesting. Why don't you tell us more about it, Galaxia? Well, actually, Morgan, OMFG Entertainment contacted me not long after my win. And I was already feeling lightheaded and intoxicated from the win, And they had told me, they said, Galaxia, we watched the show, and we feel you got what it takes to be the host of your own late night program. Because let's face it, you're funny, you're witty, you're creative, you're talented as hell. Why not get you on there and exploit as much as possible? Even if it alienates people. Which I'm sure he said that because, I'm an alien. But still. I said yes, because why wouldn't I? I like making money, but most of all, I like being creative, I like being fun. I want to talk to the guests, because we're going to have celebrities on the show, we're going to have fellow queens, it's going to be fantastic. I am so looking forward to it. I hope you are too, Morgan. Oh, Galaxia, I absolutely am. I'm just tucked in anticipation. I am so thrilled and happy and excited beyond my wildest dreams that my girls, especially my winning girl, the queen herself, is making it so far. Congrats, my queen. But I had to ask, Season 1, the first season, your first time in a drag competition, is that right, Galaxia? And you won! Looking back, what were some of the challenges that resonated with you the most, and which ones were you not really feeling? Well, I'd actually say I really like the acting challenge and the talent show. I got to display my stand-up comedy routine, which wasn't terrible. I know it needs some improvement, some refining, but I love comedy. I love making people laugh, and I do that every day by not wearing my disguise. And geez, my least favorite, probably anything involving rifling through dumpsters. Ugh. I know it's the first challenge. I know I won the first challenge, but still, it was like a stroke of luck. I found like that whole costume right there in the dumpster. It's like, well, this is going to require very little effort on my part. And fortunately, I managed to slap together some lipstick and eyeshadow and make it work. And there you go. But yeah, if we can refrain from dumpster diving in the future, that would be great. Especially if I don't have to get in it. But more acting and comedy challenges, please. I love those. Galaxia, looking back on Season 1, who would you say you walked away with feeling like they were a confidant or a close friend out of all of your sisters, the queens that you spent time with? Who would that queen be? Well, Morgan, if I just had to pick one queen, I'd probably say it would be Exxtra. She's a fierce queen. She's a master at self-deprecation. She's funny. She's quick-witted. She serves some excellent looks, especially on Redemption. I mean, let's face it, none of us were surprised she made it to the final 3. That bitch can work a runway, let me tell you. And she can act, she can sing her own music live. She's got talent. I would definitely keep an eye on her for All Stars. Definitely. And lastly, Galaxia, since winning all that fame and adulation, you have done so many gigs. It's amazing. You've grown emotionally, spiritually, maybe even a little physically from the experience. Tell me, Queen, what are your plans for the future? Where do you see yourself 5, 10 years from now? What will the Queen Galaxia be up to then? Well, in 5 years from now, I'm going to have my own evil space alien drag mutant army. I'm going to be the Rita Repulsa of drag. 10 years from now, it's going to be Galaxia's next intergalactic queen. Or gig, for short. Yeah, or gig, for short. Either way, I like it. Gig. Gigs for all the queens. Well, my lovely Xenomorph Queen, it has been wonderful catching up with you. But we are reaching the finale of our Reunited, and it's now going to be time for the fan segment, the question and answer segment. So we're going to bring back all of our queens, and we're going to take questions from the fans. Okay, now we're going to segue into our question and answer segment from our fans who are going to zoom in from satellite or however the people do it. Unfortunately, Tara could not be here. She had to slip out for personal reasons, and we'll just go ahead and get right into that.
Crow, I loved you on Season 1 of Morgan's Drag Race. You are the epitome of a robbed queen. I think you should have won. You're amazing. You're the best. You're glamorous. You're gorgeous. You're old school Hollywood. Absolutely the best. I'm your #1 fan. Hashtag robbed queen. Anyway, don't forget to vote for my campaign in this summer. Anyway, love you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Money Grub. I didn't know you were a fan of the show. I wouldn't really consider myself robbed because I think that the right choice is made with Galaxia. But who knows, maybe when All Stars rolls around, it'll be my time to take home a crown. Hello, Queens of Morgan's Drag Race. My question is directed at Parsley. Well, it isn't so much a question as it is a statement. Parsley, you are an overgrown gremlin, and I don't like you. And you have made my TV watching experience this season that much less enjoyable. Thank you for your time.
Listen, Marjorie, you're an old nobody with cats who's no one ever heard of. I've at least been on TV. What have you done? That's for the smoke I had at lunch.
Hi, so my question's for Galaxia. She's like my favorite queen ever. And I was just wondering, since winning Morgan's Drag Race, do you have any forthcoming plans? Because I would love to spend all of my money on whatever it is that you have doing. I love everything you do, honey. You are amazing, and please keep it up. Love you, from O'Donnell Smith-Bergson.
Well, actually, O'Donnell, I do have several amazing plans coming forth in the future, one of which is a late night talk show, and it's going to be on once a week, so you should keep your eyes out for that. It's coming out very soon. Also, some other TV spots, hosting Redemption, of course you've seen that, and I might make a few guest appearances on Season 2, maybe. So just keep your eyes open for me, and thanks for being the best fan ever. Love, Galaxia. Okay, Queens, now that we're at the group question and answer section, now is a perfect time to catch up with your sisters, now that we're all here in the same room and accounted for. Go ahead and ask some questions to see just, what's been on everyone's minds. How about Fortuna Kookie? You go ahead first, dear.
Well, G. Crow, I saw the footage. It said that you would never say anything bad about me, but you did in fact say that I deserve to be at the bottom. And even if it was true that I deserved to be at the bottom, you still said it, even though you said you wouldn't say those things. And it kind of made me feel like you were
backstabbing me behind my back a little bit, Crow.
I know you all been trying to cheer me up, but it just feels like sometimes a lot of the girls are just secretly wanting me to go home. I never said that. I would never say that.
You know, once again, I really hate seeing Fortuna Kookie in the bottom, who I still regard as a good friend. But if it gets rid of Galaxia, I am all for girls.
Honestly, Fortuna, I do, and I still do consider you a friend, but like, you have to draw the line at reality. It was what it was. When you were in the bottom both times, you deserved to be in the bottom both times. There's nothing wrong with just calling it like you see it. I'm sorry you're offended by it.
Well, Morgyn, I'm gonna go ahead and stick my oar in for a second, because I absolutely 100,000% believe that I am a robbed fucking queen. My variety show performance was spot fucking perfect. Actually, it wasn't perfect, but it was spot on. It was unique, and everyone of the girls was doing dancing and hair tossing and whatever the fuck else. I was unique. God damn it. And you sent me home. That's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Even though I am a trash queen, it was still garbage, not the good kind. Well, actually, Baga, it was on you. It was your job to impress us, the judges. It was your fucking responsibility to keep yourself out the bottom. And you failed, Baga. I'm sorry to say, but you fucking failed. Excuse your mouth. Right, moving on. Parsley, it seems like you had some beef with everybody, all the girls in the competition, you know. Maybe now it's a good time to air some grievances and make amends. Listen, Morgyn, I don't have to amend for anything. Those other girls are just threatened by my natural beauty and my raw talent. It's not my fault that they all feel threatened, because they're a bunch of weak, spineless little girls. And that's how it is.
Actually, Parsley, I would say that you're just annoying. Your loud, obnoxious behavior is overcompensating for the fact that while, yes, you can sometimes, occasionally, dress nice and paint yourself pretty, you have zero talent. The variety show, you bombed it. The makeover challenge, you bombed it. The snatch game, you bombed it. The book challenge, you bombed it. Why it took 4 more episodes for your ass to go home is beyond me. Should have gone home in episode 2, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, actually, Parsley, I agree with Crow. You definitely should have gone home a lot sooner ago. I mean, I almost wish it was you in the bottom with me in Snatch Game instead of Fortuna, because she at least has some kind of talent. You're just green. And not the good kind of green. Parsley, I know it seems like the other girls are kind of ganging up on you right now, but I think the truth is that you're just kind of a bully. And I think when you look in a mirror and do some introspective searching, you'll realize that the way you're treating other people is not the way that you want to be treated. And that's why, honey, we don't really care for you that much.
Well, I'm just glad she wasn't on redemption, you know, because actually, if anyone you need a redemption, it's the green monster, Oscar the Grouch back there. But yeah, if she was in redemption, I guarantee she would have gone home first. Sorry, Grandma. I mean, you would have stayed at least one more episode. At least once. Yes, I do believe that Parsley would have gone home very, very soon. Yeah, like, nobody, like, she's cracked. Parsley, you're cracked. Fix your attitude, it's whack. Oh yes, your attitude it's revolting. I smell it right now.
Shut up, all you hags! Parsley, if you don't shut the fuck up, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
Wow, and Morgan's Drag Race just became WWF Wrestling.
Okay, girls, with all that drama, excitement out of the way, it's time to cast our votes for Morgan's Drag Race's first ever Miss Congeniality. And actually, since we already voted before, I'll just go ahead and check the votes right now on my personal pin pad. So I am checking the votes and tallying them right now, because all you girls were given the assignment beforehand to vote. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, and it looks like it's unanimous. Miss Lapis, you are in fact our first ever Miss Congeniality. Congratulations, girl. You deserve it.
Well, Morgan, I am just so thrilled. Even if my stoic face doesn't show it, I am absolutely 100% tinkling with happiness right now. Thank you so much, all my sisters who voted for me. Caliente, actually, I voted for you because I think you're amazing. This season 1 has been amazing, and I can't wait to see what season 2 has in store.
Well, speaking of season 2, Lapis, it's coming sooner than you think. We'll have a special sneak peek of that very, very soon, along with the official release date, but I don't want to give away anything too soon. We're still letting some things process, and maybe in about a week we'll have that special teaser, but we already know the queens. And there are some fierce queens, honey. Miss Landon Towers, Miss Altis from 6M, let's see, Miss Bambina Von Bimbo, Dynamite, Bubbles Shepley, Caliente Diamante. Oh, they're all just amazing. Oh, I meant Calavera Diamante. Oh! Oh dear. Anyway, that's the show. I hope y'all enjoy it. Alright everyone, I think that concludes our Drag Race Season 1 Reunited. I'm so glad to have all you girls here. I wish you could be here with me again in Season 2, but unfortunately things are the way they are. So I can't wait till All Stars comes around and see most of you again and some of the other queens from future seasons. And it's been amazing, and I hope you all feel the same way. I hope you all love yourselves. If I may steal a line from Galaxia, everybody say "Ow." Okay, no one's gonna say it with me. Alright, well everyone have a great night, and keep your eyes peeled for Season 2.